Maryland football runs into trouble in the Twin Cities. Men's soccer falls for the first time in 2 months, and volleyball falters in its trip to the Pacific Northwest. But women's soccer finishes its season off on a high note. All that and more coming up on this edition of The Left Bench.
Really pleased with our defense.
We are going to break the record for three-pointers in a season.
Welcome back to The Left Bench, presented by Terps Sports Central. I'm Matthew Neus. Alongside me is Alexa. And Alexa, it was not a great weekend at all for Maryland athletics.
That's right, Matt. Multiple devastating losses, one specifically Maryland football, who has seemed to have taken a couple steps backwards.
Those couple of steps back seemed like a lot of steps on Saturday. Maryland football rode its high of beating USC 2 weekends ago all the way to Minneapolis, and the good feelings were gone 5 minutes into its contest with Minnesota. After a Terps turnover on downs, Minnesota QB Max Brosmer hits Daniel Jackson, who rumbles in for an early tutty. It's Brosmer again now, this time to Elijah Spencer in the back of the end zone for his second touchdown pass in the opening 10 minutes. It then goes from bad to worse. Billy Edwards Jr. is picked off, and it's taken all the way back by Justin Wally for the Gophers' third touchdown of the first quarter. Another Maryland drive, another Edwards Jr. INT. Coy Parrish nabs this one and sets the Gophers up on the return, and Minnesota jumps out to a 24-0 lead. Brosmer then throws his third touchdown pass of the half to Daniel Jackson from 4 yards out. Edwards Jr. keeps this ball for a rushing score, but the Terps find themselves down at the half, and the Gophers' scoring barrage continues in the second half. Maryland drops this one 48-23 and falls to 1-4 in conference play with the loss. Football faltering, one team is getting Terps fans excited is Maryland men's basketball. With the season less than a week away, we are now happy to be joined by the Diamondbacks men's basketball beat writers Eli Cohen and Harrison Rich.
Thanks, guys, so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Now, the big storyline this offseason in College Park for Maryland men's basketball was Derek Queen, 5-star recruit, committing. What can he bring as a freshman to this team this season?
A lot of hype, certainly, out of Media Day for Derek Queen, both from Kevin Willard as well as his teammates. Brings the first McDonald's All-American to College Park since Jalen Smith. That's someone who the staff has compared him to. So they expect him to be ready to make an impact right away, and it should be really interesting to see how he pairs next to Julian Reese.
Yeah, like Eli said, a lot of hype, especially from Kevin Willard himself, saying Queen's just, a once-in-a-generation type prospect. And I think, there's definitely some credence to that. Queen definitely has a unique style of play, and him and Julian Reese should make for an interesting pairing in the front court.
And you guys mentioned Julian Reese, coming back for senior season. He's always had those veterans ahead of him. This year, he's the leader on the team. What do you think fans can expect, not just from his performance, but also just that leadership on the floor?
Yeah, I think Reese he said this himself, I think, especially in the last year or so. He's made a lot of strides as a leader in the locker room. And now that he's, entering his senior year, he's going to be one of the oldest guys on the roster. I think, it's really important for him to just be that vocal guy for the younger players like Queen, Malachi Palmer. And, then on the court, I think he's going to play a super integral role on the defensive end, kind of manning the interior. And then on offense, he's also going to, be a key cog for them all year.
Yeah, it's something he started talking a lot about midway through last season, stepping up as a vocal leader. And especially, as Harrison mentioned, like for Derek Queen, that's someone he played with in high school. They have a relationship already. He's sort of a mentor for Derek. So it should be interesting to see how that pairing works both on and off the court. But yeah, he has experience. He's been through some of the highs of Maryland men's basketball as well as the lows, and that should be valuable for Maryland this year.
Now, one of the struggles last year for Maryland was just shooting the basketball. But on Thursday at the Midnight Mile, Kevin Willard had this to say. Take a listen.
We are going to start a new tradition this year. We are going to break the record for three-pointers in a season.
I mean, you heard it. He seems pretty confident that they can do that. Do you think Maryland has the shooters to make that happen this year?
Well, it should be interesting. They added 2 high-volume, efficient shooters in the portal in Belmont's Jacoby Gillespie as well as South Florida's Selton Miguel. That said, last year's shooting was so bad, and they lost 2 of their top 3-point shooters in Jameer Young and Dante Scott. So it seems like a tall task, but I would imagine it would improve from last year's mark.
Yeah, I think it will most likely improve from last year's dismal numbers, but I will say, I think, the spacing has improved with Selton Miguel and Gillespie, as Eli mentioned, but there's still some spacing concerns in the starting lineup. I mean, you have Deshaun Harris-Smith along with Queen and Reese, all guys who aren't really known as shooters. You bring in Rodney Rice as, another potential guy off the bench, and then add in maybe someone like Chance Stevens. But I think, they will take a step up from a shooting perspective, but they may not be breaking records, as Willard said.
And just to finish out, Eli, you mentioned him. We talked a lot about the incoming players, but Maryland lost someone that Kevin Willard called the heart and soul of the program. Will the Terps be able to fill that point guard position now that Jameer Young's graduated?
Yeah, I think, Willard has expressed confidence in Jacoby Gillespie, stepping in from Belmont, which is obviously a lower level than the Big Ten. But I think, losing a guy like Jameer Young, it's going to be hard to replace him with one guy. And they've said that, they're not expecting Gillespie to come in and average 20-plus points per game. But I think, it's going to be a collective effort. You have Selton Miguel come in, you have Rodney Rice, a lot of guys that can pick up the ball handling duties. So it won't be all on Gillespie, but he will definitely be a big part of that.
Yeah, and as Harrison said, they're not trying to replace Jameer with one player, more a sum of the parts, and that's what they tried to do with Gillespie and Miguel. Those are two guys that they are hoping can create their own shots and make tough shots. Those are two of the things that Jameer did so excellently last year. So they're hoping that the combination of those two can maybe replicate what Jameer did.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thanks so much for taking the time and sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
You can stay up to date with both Harrison and Eli's coverage this season on X at HarrisonRich_ and at EJCohen17, and by reading the Diamondback at dbknews.com.
Well, we talked a lot about some current Terps, but let's head over to the association to break down some Terps making an impact in the NBA.
TSC's Jonah Jansejevich is Studio B to break it all down. Jonah?
Guys, the 2024 NBA season tipped off last Tuesday, and some Terps around the association are looking to build off of next season, some looking to maybe bring home the Larry O'Brien. Let's start off with some red velvet. Kevin Huerter, the 2018 Maryland grad, started the season coming back from a torn labrum last March. Huerter was cleared for full contact a couple of days before his first game of the season, where he and his Kings took on Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was a rusty season debut for Huerter, who shot 25% from the field. Huerter is a three-point specialist but couldn't connect beyond the arc, as the Kings lose a close one, 117-115 to the Timberwolves. Huerter got on the right track in Game 2 of the season against the Lakers. The Kings lost, but Huerter went for 4 for 7 from 3 and recorded 14 points. Now, moving to the Eastern Conference, where a Terp found a new home this past offseason. After reaching the Eastern Conference Finals last season with the Pacers, 2020 Maryland grad Jalen Smith took his talents to the Windy City and joined the Chicago Bulls. Smith had a strong preseason, scoring double digits in every outing, and his start this season has been pretty strong. In his first 2 games of the season, Smith averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and shot 46.6% from 3, helping the Bulls to a 1-1 start with a win over the Milwaukee Bucks. In his last outing versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, Smith did collect 6 rebounds, but he only shot 1 for 4 from the floor in a loss. Bulls take on the Grizzlies next up. Speaking of the Oklahoma City Thunder, we move on to our next Terp, who in many preseason predictions has the best chance to lift a Larry O'Brien. Aaron Wiggins is entering his 4th season in the association with the Thunder. Wiggins, a career-high 78 games in the regular season last year, and finished with a team-leading 49.2% shooting from 3. Wiggins has only shot 25% so far this season from 3, but he has done most of his damage inside the line. Right now, through just 2 games, Wiggins is shooting 83% from the mid-range. His efficiency in the paint, along with defensive play, where he recorded 2 blocks against the Nuggets in his season opener, has helped his Thunder to a fast 2-0 start. Now, let's head to the rookie. The former AP All-Big Ten first-team member Jameer Young signed an Exhibit 10 deal with the Denver Nuggets and their G League affiliate, the Grand Rapids Gold. After he was not selected in the NBA draft, Young was picked up by the Nuggets on a 1-year minimum salary NBA contract. The standout at Maryland had a great summer league averaging 9.2 points and 3.2 rebounds, while only playing 17.8 minutes per game. Now that Young is expected to play for the Grand Rapids Gold, he'll get the chance to prove himself and work his way to a potential roster spot on the Nuggets. It is a long regular season, but that means a lot of opportunities for Terps in the league to shine, and some may even get the chance on the brightest stage of the playoffs. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jonah. And I mean, Terps fans love seeing their guys succeeding in the pros. And speaking of Aaron Wiggins, how about the new shoe deal?
Yeah, going back to his roots, back with Under Armour. I mean, it's so cool to see Aaron Wiggins. You can watch him on TV. You can wear his own shoe. I mean, that's amazing. It's so cool for him. So really
Exactly.
cool. Now stay right where you are, because when we come back, we'll dive into how other fall sports teams fared this weekend.
And we'll take a look at some spring sports getting some fall action. Stay right there.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to the Left Bench, brought to you by Terps Sports Central. Matthew Neus joined by Alexa Wootten. And Alexa, fall sports season is nearing its end here in College Park.
Yeah, Matt, fall sports is almost over, and that means the playoffs are right around the corner, and Maryland field hockey is gearing up for another deep run in the postseason.
Yes, they are. After losing on the road Friday to the number 15 Princeton, Maryland field hockey found its rhythm again at the Plex on Senior Day. Maryland put up shots early to warm up its offense, with success coming on the Terps' second penalty corner. Fleur Knopert puts one in the net, giving the Terps the first goal of the game. Ella Gayton and Josie Holloman connect off another penalty corner, keeping the momentum going as Maryland leads by 2 entering the third quarter. The Terps lift a few shot attempts but can't seem to find the back of the net until Hope Rose takes the reins in the final minutes of the game. Rose taps in a deflected shot from Gayton, giving Maryland a 3-0 win in its regular season home finale.
Excited for our 7 seniors. Everybody got a lot of minutes in that class, and really happy this isn't their last match on this field, since we have Big Tens here. So luckily they'll be back in action. But really, really pleased with our defense, giving up one shot on a penalty corner, I think it was. But really pleased with that.
Maryland women's soccer's 2024 season will be remembered in large part for the departure of head coach Megan Ryan Nemser. But the Terps finished on a positive note against Rutgers. Scarlet Knights get things started in the first half. Emily Mason gets on the end of this Riley Tiernan ball and beats Terps goalie Liz Beardsley with a stunning volley. Into the second half, and Maryland almost draws level as Katie Coyle forces a save on an effort from distance. Into the final 10 minutes, and a miscue at the back for the Scarlet Knights spills the ball right to Lisa McIntyre. The forward has an open net and ties the game in the 87th minute. The 1-1 draw gives Maryland 5 points to end its campaign, avoiding a last place finish in the Big Ten.
Although the Maryland baseball season doesn't start until next March, fans got a sneak peek at this year's team during the Dirty Terps' fall ball doubleheader. In Game 1, the Terps quickly grabbed the lead on a bases-clearing double from senior catcher Alex Calarco. The Terps and the Hoyas trade blows, with the teams knotted at 8 in the bottom of the 9th. Down to their final out, Calarco launches a 3-run homer to propel Maryland to a walk-off win. In Game 2, new transfers Aiden Hill and Liam Wilson both hit home runs, but the Hoyas explode for 7 runs in the 7th, leading to a Georgetown win. Here's what head coach Matt Swope had to say about Clarko's huge Game 1 performance.
We had a little bit of a letdown year last year, but maybe just kind of relaxing and finally just getting his feet underneath him a little bit. But he's been great, and it's almost like it feels like another transfer, even though he's been here, just with how he stepped up and leading the group.
Maryland volleyball suffered another Big Ten loss as they headed out west to face Washington. Terps come out of the jump. Samantha Schnida secures the first set on their 3rd match point with a kill. Set 2, the Huskies take it back, hitting over .600. 1-1, Maryland ties it at 13, fighting it out. The set goes all the way up to 31. Washington finds one over the net, going up 2-1. Maryland leads the way to start off the 4th, but does not recover from a Washington run. Huskies win this one 3-1.
Maryland Wrestling started its season with an inter-squad match at the Pavilion. The annual Red vs. Black meet took place last week and gave fans a sneak peek at this year's squad. In his first ever bout in front of fans in the Pavilion, true freshman Preston Sanchez wins his first match in overtime by a 3-1 decision. One of Maryland's top returners, Braxton Brown, wins his match by technical fall. Brown is set for another big season this year, and so is Seth Nevels, who got in on the action as well, also winning by tech fall. The red team dominated all night, winning 34-16. But Coach Clemson still sees room for improvement for Nevels and the rest of his team.
The kid that wrestled last year at this time would probably get majored by the kid that wrestled tonight. And I think part of him maybe not taking it as serious as I'd like him to is I think his confidence is really high. I think he knows he's close to being what he's capable of being, and he's having a lot of fun with it.
Maryland men's soccer's 12-game unbeaten streak was broken Friday night by the Michigan Wolverines, as the Terps fell 2-0 on the road and was handed their first conference loss. In the 6th minute, Saddam Masarika draws a penalty. Colin Griffith steps up from 12 yards, but Michigan's keeper Isaiah Goldson saves it. Albi Inadrika is there for the rebound but misses high. Minutes later, Patrick O'Toole heads one in, Michigan up 1-0. The Wolverines find their second from the spot in the second half. Multiple Terps with clean looks at goal, but Isaiah Goldson saves one after another. Michigan takes down the number 2 Maryland Terrapins 2-0. While Maryland got its first loss in Big Ten play, first is the key word. Maryland's conference play has been drastically different from last year's. The key, penalty kicks. Maryland's key, Leon Kuhl. I sat down with head coach Saso Swarovski and Kuhl about how he came into this role for the Terps.
Last year, the 4 we missed would have also led to either ties or wins, so that changes your whole season.
In 2023, Maryland was without a win in the Big Ten, going 0-4 in penalty kicks. Now in 2024, the Terps near the top of the Big Ten and lead the nation in most PKs made, with 6, thanks to number 6, Leon Kuhl.
I got to take the ball in my hand, just got to keep the ball, and and just be by myself.
Then
it takes courage, it takes confidence, it takes mental toughness, and he possesses all those qualities.
Something his coach saw back in the spring.
We were playing Georgetown in the spring, and we drew a penalty kick early in the first half, and Leon just grabbed the ball, and he stepped up, and he hit a wonderful penalty kick, and it was very confident. And at that point, he was the hot guy to go with. But what impressed me is that he wanted it.
And it was that moment that paid off for Kuhl.
I got the pen, I drew it, and I just took the ball and scored it. And since then, we kind of communicated, that's my new role. I'm going to take the pens, and it's going well.
And while he and the team celebrate his success, he knows there's still a challenge ahead. And he says he's ready for it.
I feel like we as a group, we got bigger goals this year, and I'm just trying to put my role in there so we achieve those.
For Terrapin Sports Central, I'm Alexa Wootten.
Now there have been setbacks to Kuhl's season so far. Kuhl suffered an injury and was carted off the field. He did not play in Maryland's match against Michigan, and there has not been an official update on if he will return this season.
Yeah, and Cool is the key to this Maryland team. You saw it Friday. They had a penalty. Colin Griffith can't convert it. You know, Leon gives you that component. Then he also just holds down the midfield. It's going to be a key loss for Maryland and may prevent them from going deep into December.
No, 100%.
Now don't go anywhere because when we return,
it's game
time.
Game time. And as always, we'll hand out our Terp of the Week and Pro Terp Awards and go over our top 5 plays. Don't go anywhere.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to the Left Bench, presented by Terps Sports Central. Matthew Neus here in Studio B with Alexa Wootten. And Alexa, why don't you tell them why we're over here?
I would love to. We are here to play a new game.
All right, so this is a brand new game on the Left Bench called Wavelength. You may have seen it on TikTok or Instagram, but here is how it works. On the monitor is a wheel. On the left side and the right side is going to be 2 opposing concepts, like good player, bad player. So, you know, good player, Jake Lehman, all over here. You know the vibes. Alexa's going to close her eyes, and we're going to reveal a color target area on the wheel. We'll then hide the target area, and it's my job to give Alexa a Maryland coach or player that will land between the 2 opposing concepts on the spectrum of the wheel. She lands in the target area, she'll get the corresponding points revealed. If not, no points. So, you ready to see we are on the same wavelength and we're in cahoots?
Oh yeah, we're going to see if we're in cahoots.
All right, let's do it. So here's the first
I'm
one.
going to close my eyes.
Close her eyes. All right, so it's newcomer and all-timer. Okay. All right, I think I got it. I got one.
I'm good to open my eyes?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
So newcomer, all-timer.
Okay.
Derek Queen.
So I think I'm going to go newcomer, freshman, obviously, rookie year, probably somewhere in here. Okay, that's my guess right there.
Derek Queen, newcomer?
Pretty new. I mean, he's a freshman.
You got 3.
I was just off. Is it? It's that one?
Yeah, you got in the 3. You got in the orange, so you got 3.
3 points, okay.
Could have got 4, but yeah.
It's okay. You know, I think it's a pretty strong start. Okay.
It's a good start.
So that's me. Okay, it's my turn now. You gotta close your
eyes.
eyes.
Close my eyes.
Aye. Okay, got it.
Am I good?
Give me a second. Okay, so
Can I have
we
my
got
eyes?
3-point shooter, and then we got rim runner. Don't open your eyes. Don't cheat. And
you
then
didn't answer. That was on you.
Okay, I got it. I'm good. All right, you can open your eyes now.
All right.
All right, I am gonna say Anthony Cohen Jr.
Ooh. Well, that's kind of, no, it's definitely more 3-pointer, I feel. I mean, all the clutch threes he made, I mean, I'm just thinking of all the ones.
I mean,
so
you gotta put your sticky note up. Where do you want it?
It's gotta be 3-pointer. I just don't know if it's like in the middle here. I think I gotta go right here.
Right there?
I
Okay.
gotta go kind of more towards 3-pointer, but not all the way in the middle.
Okay, let's see it.
Ooh.
Ooh, 2. So winning, 3, 2. Okay.
For right now. But hey, I mean, we're in the wavelength. We both got it. So.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty
All
good.
right.
I think we're doing pretty well. Okay,
All right, so
closing
here
my
we
eyes
go.
now.
Coach with more to prove. So we got coach with more to prove and a Hall of Fame coach.
Okay.
It's actually tough. All right. All right, so you're good now. You're good.
Okay, I'm
so
opening my eyes.
coach with more to prove.
Okay.
Hall of Fame coach.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Sasha Zarofsky.
Okay, so 30 plus years, obviously gonna be Hall of Fame coach area. Do I wanna go? I think I'm gonna
I don't know,
go.
is he really like, Do you think he's like the top of the top?
Oh, you're
for
saying
Maryland?
Hall of Fame Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, is he?
I'm gonna go right. Ooh, we're gonna go right here.
All right.
Right there.
All right, let's see. Sasha Swarovski, Hall of Fame coach.
Okay,
Ooh, two. You see, I was thinking more like Hall of Fame, like Gary Williams level for the all the way, and Sasha is there because, you know, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not on Gary's
It's not Gary
level
Williams.
yet.
Okay,
Not
I'll give
yet.
you that. All right, you gotta close your eyes.
So what'd you get? You got 2?
Yeah, 2, so I'm at 5.
All right, so I need a 4.
Okay,
to win.
close your eyes, close your eyes. All right, so we have brings the boom, and we have brings a big boom. Okay. All right, let me think for a second.
Bring the boom.
Okay. I got an answer. Okay.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Open your eyes.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna say we're going all-time Maryland. Okay.
All-time Maryland. Okay.
I'm gonna say Jameer Young.
Jameer Young brings the. Okay, so I think we're off. When I think of brings the boom, I think of you know, big dunks like Sticks, Jalen Smith.
Oh, I was just thinking energy.
Energy. All right. Then did you say Jameer Young?
Yeah.
For big boom. I mean, that's like Anthony Counts. So many electric 3-pointers, buzzer beaters. I mean, I gotta go big boom. I think. I got to. But where do I put it?
I can't help you. You gotta read my mind.
All right, I'm reading. I'm gonna go right here.
Okay.
Biggest boom, Jameer Young. Please don't tell me I'm wrong.
All right, let's see it. You were right.
You set me up.
I don't think all time.
Then who would you put over there?
Like, I gotta go with like the all-time greats. Like, you
Name
got-
them.
Well, Williams, Len Bias, Mo Trimble. I mean, those are the ones that I think bring the energy overall. I think Jameer Young, amazing player, brings the energy, but out of all time, I don't think so.
I think you kind of set me up there.
Okay,
I
maybe
think-
a little tricky,
I think you set me up with that one, so I'm calling that a no contest. You did not get the win there. I'm calling that a no contest. But
Okay.
I mean, what about that? Wavelength? I mean, that was
Pretty fun game. I think we're pretty on it.
You were in cahoots for the first 3, and then you kind of went off the rails. That was on you, not me. But it's
All right, I'll
fine.
take it, I'll
It's
take it.
whatever. But that's going to do it for Wavelength. Alexa, I think we have a couple of awards that we got to hand out.
Yes, we do. You want to let's get it rolling.
Yeah.
So for our Terp of the week, we decided to give it to the senior who got a goal on senior day, Hope Rose. In the final minutes, Rose with the shot saved, but she's there for her own rebound, and she puts away the 3-0 win for the Terps. Rose, an integral part of Maryland's offense, now leads the team with 9 goals and has scored in 3 consecutive games. Congrats to Hope on being our Terp of the week.
This week's Pro Terp is currently on his 2nd stint in the NFL, and boy, aren't the Arizona Cardinals happy they picked this guy up as a free agent. Our Pro Terp is Chad Ryland. Ryland signed with the Cardinals to the practice squad on October 2nd. Since then, 3 game-winning field goals. The former Maryland kicker nailed a 35-yarder to beat the 49ers, then a 32-yarder to top the Chargers, and made a 34-yarder as the Cardinals stunned the Dolphins on Sunday. Arizona is 500 and is over 500 and in first place in the NFC West. Congrats to Chad on being named our Pro Terp.
All right, Matt, top 5, you want to get us going?
Let's get it rolling. Let's go. At number 5, we're going to go to the Pavilion. Braxton Brown primed for a breakout year and maybe an All-American with a single-leg takedown in Maryland's red and black match. I mean, look at that. Sweep the leg, and got the takedown.
Number 4 is you've already seen this one today, but Hope Rose, the senior goal on senior day. The shot, she's there for the rebound and puts away the 3-0 win for the Terps.
At number 3, we're going to the pitch. Lisa McIntyre, what is that? A gift at her feet, wide open net. And unlike me, she can put it in an empty net and get the draw for Maryland. A huge end of the season for the Terps.
All right, it might not be spring, but what a play from Alex Colarco. Game 1, a walk-off homer. We're going to see that one more time, sailing right to right field. Number 2 for the week.
And at number 1, we go back to the Plex. Fleur Knoper on the penalty corner. What's this? Little tip drill. A big play for Knoper and Maryland field hockey to rebound after that loss on Friday to Princeton and get back in the win column as the postseason nears. That will be all for this edition of The Left Bench, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. We're going to take a break next week from the studio.
But Ben Wolf and Andrew McBride will be back at the desk on November 11th.
Be sure to keep tabs on all of our coverage on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.